In our project, we're going to be using a library called AngularFire. AngularFire simplifies the integration of our Angular application with our Firebase project. And there are two primary resources that we're going to want to reference when we start out using AngularFire. The first is the GitHub repository for AngularFire itself. And that can be found by searching for AngularFire and then clicking on this top hit, the github-firebase/Angular link. This repository provides both the CDN links to the scripts that we need in order to start using AngularFire, which are of course the Angular application, Firebase, and then the AngularFire library. And it also provides a number of examples that we can reference to see how to use AngularFire in our application. Now the second reference is the official AngularFire documentation from Firebase. That can also be found by searching for AngularFire in Google, and that is this link here, the firebase.com/docs/libraries Angular API. And that link provides all the official documentation for the AngularFire library. So if ever you need a quick reference to how to use certain properties or methods of different AngularFire objects and things, this will be your go-to resource. Now I've gone ahead and added the AngularFire dependencies to our index.html. I've also added an app.js file, and that's under the app folder of my public directory. And we'll notice that I moved my Firebase config script into that application file as well. The last thing I did is initialize an Angular module with a controller, and that module depends on Firebase. That Firebase dependency is that AngularFire library. And it contains three objects that we can use in our application. The first is $firebase_auth, the second is $firebase_array, and the third is $firebase_object. We'll spend the rest of the lesson talking about these objects and how to use them. But for now, let's just make sure our application works properly by displaying a simple message to our browser. Up until this point, we've been using simple Angular server to serve up our local page. We can continue to use that and it will still work fine with our Firebase and Angular applications. However, the Firebase tools we downloaded in the last section also provide another server that we can use locally, and we spin that up by simply typing Firebase Serve. This will spin up a server that listens on port 5000 of our local host. We can verify it's working properly by navigating to that local host port 5000 in our browser. And we see that message that we defined in our app's controller.